Hello, folks. I want to talk a little bit about the politics of division. This is the greatest game that the politicians play. They play it to the max, and we fall for it all the time. All the time. And you need to understand that this is a Marxist ploy. This is what they've been doing from, for the last 100 years, more, 150. And if you read the Marxist, the Communist Manifesto, especially the later renditions in different languages that were put out after Karl Marx actually died, and Friedrich Engels, gave commentary at the end of those documents. He was, talking about things that were happening at the time in the different European countries. And it's very interesting. You need to check into it. Anybody that's seen enough of my stuff knows that I don't do your homework for you. I don't tell you specifically where to go to find this. You need to go find your own. It's out there. If you want to go research it, look for it and find it, you'll find it. But the simple fact of the matter is that the number one tool of Marxism is division. They divide and conquer. They are radicals, and they are revolutionaries, and so they must divide the population in order to play them against themselves. That's what you will find them doing constantly. And so what they'll do is that they'll tell the little guy that, oh well, the big guy's out to get you, or they'll tell the poor guy that the rich guy is just holding you down. Or they'll tell the brown guy that the white guy hates you and he wants to make you a slave. And they'll do this with any religion, creed, color, or whoever. Because they don't really care who it is. And they don't really care about the people that they pretend to care about. All they really care about is dividing you amongst yourselves so that they can then assume power, that you will give them power to make things change. If I can convince you that your current government is corrupt, evil, hates you, and wants to kill you, well then I can convince you that you need to get rid of that current government. And that's all they do. And so every time that you see people who are trying to divide you amongst race, class, religion, any other, they're trying to divide you so they can use you to gain power. And then what do they do when they actually get the power? Well, then they oppress you. They steal your freedom. They steal your liberty. They tell you what to do. They control you. This is what they've always done. Every communist government that's ever existed on the world has been a full tilt controlling government that controlled everything that the people did, including the economy and the production and etc. And this is where they always fail, because human nature is antithetical to communism. What do I mean by that? Well, communism is that we'll all come together and we'll all equally share and we'll all equally work and we'll all equally enjoy the fruits of our labors. Well, human beings aren't like that. If a guy can slack a little bit and he can still get the same thing you get, that's what he'll do. He'll slack a little bit. Now, there'll be a few out there that, bless their hearts, will work their ass off. But there'll be a bunch of them that won't do anything as long as they're guaranteed a certain level of comfort. That's what communism, promises and to some extent provides. You will have a roof over your head and food in the cupboard and a bicycle. Maybe not a car, but a bicycle. We love them bicycles, don't we? But the thing is that that's not what this country was meant to be. What this country was meant to be is to give people the freedom to meet their ambitions. If you want to be more, if you want to work harder, if you want to accumulate the fruits of your labor and step up to that next class, you can do that. And so communism says, no, 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 we can't have that. We can't have people stepping up above the next guy. We all got to be equal here. Equal misery. Just keep that in mind. That's what communism is equal misery. And that's what they want to give us all. There's been some famous quotes, Margaret Thatcher, the problem with socialism, eventually you run out of other people's money. What she means is that you run out of other people's desire. The desire to produce and to do more than what you were expected to do. That desire comes from the ability to accumulate a reward for that. You go out there and you do far and above what anybody else did, you can accumulate that reward and you become more prosperous than the guy who's schlepping over in the corner, doesn't want to do a damn thing. But, the communists have always divided people. They divide them amongst race. They divide them amongst class. They even divide specific tribes, whether they be even of the same color. They divide us amongst religion. They divide us any way that they possibly can. And so I don't know what some of you may think of me. I vote Republican most of the time because we only have two real choices in America. You have a serial killer and you have a petty thief. So I mostly vote for the petty thieves because I'm not going to vote for the serial killer. I don't like it that way. I wish it were different. And when sometimes there's a guy that's so bad, even if he's an R, I ain't going to vote for him. I'll vote for a libertarian and just let the chips fall where they may. But until something better comes along, we have a constitutional party, okay? But they're so irrelevant that it doesn't even matter. I could vote for the constitutional party in every election for the next 20 years. It would accomplish zero. So do I want to accomplish zero? No. So what do? I vote Republican, and then in the primaries, I try to kick out the rhinos. This is the key. In the primary is where you clean up your own party. In the general is where you get rid of the fascist left. Okay? And so in the primary, we need to work and we need to get new people in there and we need to kick out the rhinos as much as we possibly can. There's a bunch of people with an R after their name who are fascist left. They are statist. They are collectivist. They want more and more government. They make money off of government. They divide people. There's people out there call themselves conservatives. They're not conservatives in the true sense of the word. They divide people. They want to divide people too. Donald Trump exposed this. When Donald Trump ran and started with the populist message, all of the never-Trumpers came out. He exposed them for who they are. They're not really libertarian. They're not really patriots. They're not really individualists. They wanted the status quo. They wanted statism. They wanted globalism. They wanted big government. And they were willing to destroy a man in their own party in order to continue the globalist, collectivist nature of government. And so you need to understand this. This is the biggest thing that people need to understand moving forward. It's not easy. Every election, you're going to have a choice between bad and worse, and you're going to just have to make that decision. Again, the primary is where you take out the bad people in your party, but in the general, you have to vote at this point. It may change, but at this point, you have to vote for the Republican. He's the only person that's even going to get close to cutting your taxes, protecting your liberty, and protecting life. That's not going to happen in the Democrat Party at all, period, ever. If you ever want to bring Americans together, most Republicans, even if they're a little shaky, they preach togetherness based on liberty. Life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, the Founding Fathers, what this government was intended to be. That's what they preach. What does the left preach? The left preach, oh, they hate you, they're racist, they're Nazis, they're this. Divide, divide, divide. It all sucks, the country sucks, America sucks, the founding sucks, it all sucks. They all hate you, and you need to vote for us because we're going to fix it all. Do they ever fix it all? Do they ever fix anything? No, of course not, never. But they always come around and ask for your money and your vote the next time. And where do those letters come out for the fundraising? This is on both sides too, by the way. Where does the fundraising letters come out? Division. Oh, so-and-so wants to do this to you. You need to give me money to stop him from doing that. Oh, so-and-so, he wants to do this. You need to give me money, and I'm going to stop him from doing that. It's all division all the time. And it always will be because that's all they know. They are fundamentally revolutionaries, which means they are always fighting against something. They're never fighting for anything. They're fighting against something. And so they will always find something to fight against. And there will always be a new victim. The new victim is the Latino, or the new victim is the black guy, the new victim is this guy, the new victim is the transgender, the new victim is the girl who wants to have her dick cut, a dick added to her. Whatever. I'm sorry, that was kind of silly, but you know what I'm getting at here. They're always going to find somebody to make a victim. If they don't have one, they will create one. They have done that lately. How many times have you seen these incidents where, on some campus there was a Nazi symbol, blah, 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 and then it turns out it was a leftist that put it up there? Oh, well, there was some Muslim church and there was some anti-Muslim stuff put on it. You find out it was a guy in the own Muslim church that put it up there. There's some guy that said there's Nazi this, Nazi that, and it was a white liberal who actually put the propaganda up there. They can't find enough hate, so they have to invent it. They invent hate. In order to get you riled up emotionally so that you will vote for them, give them money, and put them in power. This is what they do. They divide the country, and they divide us emotionally so that they can secure power, and they get very rich doing it. Every one of them, R and D alike, get very rich doing this. And you need to stop them. I don't have all the answers. I've always told you that. But as we sit now, you only have one choice. In the Republican primary, try to kick out the incumbent. And in the general, get rid of the damn Democrat. You have to. He's a freaking socialist. If he's a Democrat, he's a socialist. He's a collectivist, and he wants to divide this country, and he wants to do away with the founding. He does not want individual liberty. He wants collectivism. And he gains that by dividing you, by dividing us, by making us hate each other. I love you. I love all of you. God made you. I feel for many of you because you've been led astray and you don't understand. You need to think. They are dividing you so that they can rule you. Do you want to be ruled? I don't.